Ever feel like you're stuck creatively?
Hmm.
Like all your ideas are kind of drowning in everyone else's.
Yeah.
Well, get ready for something really cool. We're diving into how AI might actually help us bust out of that rut and come up with ideas that are not just new, but actually impactful.
Yeah, it's not about AI taking over the idea generation, right? It's more like AI is that friend who keeps setting you up on blind dates, you know? But in this case, it's about connecting people to maximize their creative potential.
Love that. Okay, so we're going deep on this research study where they put to the test. They used something called SocialMuse, an AI system, had a bunch of people brainstorming, and the results are seriously fascinating. Get this, we're talking about the link between AI, social networks, and how to unlock that inner creative genius. And it's funny how we always say two heads are better than one,
Mm,
but these researchers are really digging into how the right two heads can make all the difference.
totally. It's easy to think of creativity as a solo thing, you in your room, late at night, having a breakthrough. But the reality is, so many breakthroughs happen when we collaborate, when we bounce ideas around and spark something new in each other.
Oh, absolutely. It's that feeling when you're in a room with the right people and the energy is just buzzing, everyone is feeding off each other, and bam, something totally new is born. But here's the thing, especially now, how do we recreate that magic online? How do we find those connections that lead to truly original thinking instead of just ending up with more of the same?
And that is where SocialMuse comes in. The researchers wanted to see if they could use AI to bottle that feeling, that being in a room with your perfect brainstorming buddies, even if everyone is miles apart.
Okay, so like a digital muse whispering creative sparks.
Mhm.
I am so in. So how do they test this out? Paint us a picture.
So imagine you're online and you have this challenge, right? Come up with new uses for everyday objects. Things like a shoe or a pencil. Seems simple enough, but here's the twist. The researchers had 420 people, 420, doing this virtual experiment. They were split into two groups: a control group doing their own thing, and a treatment group. These were our lucky guinea pigs. The control group had to brainstorm the old fashioned way, choosing who to connect with all on their own.
Oh, so just like starting a group chat and hoping for the
Pretty
best?
much. But the treatment group, they had Social Muse in their corner, making these connection suggestions behind the scenes.
Like a matchmaking angel. Okay, I'm hooked. So spill it. How'd it go? Were the results as good as they hoped?
Well, both groups came up with loads of ideas, as you might imagine. But here's the thing, and this is where it gets juicy. The group with the AI help, they didn't just have more ideas, they had way more unique ideas, like a solid 40% more.
Whoa, 40%. That's massive. But hold on, how do you even measure how unique an idea is? Isn't that subjective?
It's a good question. The researchers were smart about it. See, they weren't just comparing your idea to the person you were brainstorming with directly. They were comparing it to every idea in the whole experiment. They were looking for those real gems, the standout ideas.
So you can't just be the most interesting person in the room. You got to be the most interesting person in like the whole wide world of ideas.
Exactly. But it gets even cooler. Didn't you mention they looked at the diversity of thought, too?
I did. So tell me, what is semantic diversity and why should we care? It sounds kind of intimidating.
Not at all. Imagine you're back in your brainstorming session. This time you've got a cardboard box, right?
Yeah.
And you're trying to think of what to do with it. One person says, storage. Another person's feeling nostalgic says, let's build a fort. Both good ideas.
For sure. They're both thinking about how to use the box. Pretty
Yeah.
straightforward.
Exactly. They're in the same creative neighborhood, right? But what if someone pops up and goes, hey, why don't we cut this box up, make a giant mosaic? Now, that idea, that's a whole other creative zip code that's more semantically diverse. And guess what? The AI boosted group, they had way more of those aha moments, those ideas that zigged when everyone else zagged.
So not only were their ideas more unusual, but they were also coming from all these different angles and approaches. Okay, this is what it means to think outside the box, even when you're thinking about a box.
Couldn't have put it better myself. And it gets even better. Are you ready for another layer to this?
Hit me, I live for this stuff.
So remember how the AI was analyzing the meaning of each idea, the semantic stuff? Well, it turns out Social Muse's suggestions, they weren't just changing who people connected with, but how they saw those people's ideas.
Wait, really? So you're telling me just getting that little AI nudge actually changed how good people thought an idea was? Like, even if it was the same idea someone else saw and didn't think was this cool?
It's pretty wild, right? They found that consistently, people would rate the ideas from those AI recommended connections as more novel, more interesting, even if those exact same ideas were shown to others without that little digital thumbs up. It's
Yeah.
like a halo effect for creativity. The AI is kind of subtly nudging not just our networks, but how we even perceive things.
That's incredible. Like it's whispering, hey, this person, genius, listen up. It's not even just helping us come up with ideas, it's making us better at spotting the good ones, even if they're from someone we wouldn't have talked to otherwise.
And that is what makes this so profound. This isn't just a fun experiment. This could totally change how we connect, how we work together, how we create everything.
Okay, so back to social muse for a sec.
Mm.
We've established it's not just throwing darts at a board, right? It's analyzing stuff. But what?
It all boils down to two main things: semantic features and then network structural features. Picture the AI like, I don't know, a detective or something,
Right.
gathering clues to unlock your most creative self, right?
Okay, love a good detective story. But seriously, semantic features, what are those? Break it down for me.
Think of them like fingerprints, but for your ideas. It's looking at what you're trying to say, the words you use, the concepts you lean on, almost like it's building like your creative DNA profile or something.
So if I'm using really practical, down-to-earth language and someone else is all abstract and out there,
Yeah,
the AI can tell the difference.
exactly. It's like the AI is putting together a mood board of your ideas, getting a sense of your creative vibe. But it doesn't stop there. Remember those network structural features? That's where Social Muse gets really smart.
Right, remind me, what were those again? And how do they fit in with all of this?
This is where the AI zooms out, looks at the whole picture. It's not just you and your ideas alone, it's everyone, the whole network.
So it's looking at who's talking to who's inspiring who, like some kind of creative popularity contest.
Kind of. It's mapping out all those connections to see who the hubs are, the ones everyone's drawn to. But here's the catch, and this is important. More connections don't always mean better ideas, not the really innovative stuff anyway.
It's like that saying, if everyone's thinking alike, no one's really thinking at all. So Social Muse is actually trying to steer people away from the most popular folks.
Yes, and it's fascinating. Researchers have noticed that when too many people cluster around the same few star idea people, even if those stars are brilliant, it can stifle creativity. It's like everyone's trying to write the same song instead of coming up with their own tunes.
Totally. It's like being stuck in an echo chamber. At first it's impressive, but then it's just the same thing over and over.
Exactly. What Social Muse seems to have figured out is the power of spreading things out. Instead of letting everyone flock to the same few folks, it nudged people towards a more balanced network.
Yeah.
It's like it was sharing the creative wealth,
Yeah.
making sure everyone had the chance to inspire and be inspired.
It's like Social Muse is some kind of choreographer, right? Arranging dancers on a stage to make the most interesting, dynamic performance.
What a great way to put it. And that little shift, how people connected, seems to have been huge in unlocking those more original, outside the box ideas. But there's one more piece to this. I think you'll find it really interesting.
We know I do. Lay it on me.
Remember how we talked about those semantic features? How the AI was breaking down the meaning of the ideas themselves? Turns out Social Muse's suggestions, they didn't just change who people connected with, but how they felt about those people's ideas.
Hold on. For real. So just getting that AI suggestion made people think an idea was better, even if it was, like, the same idea someone else saw and wasn't that impressed by.
It's pretty wild, isn't it? They found that, yeah, people consistently rated those AI recommended ideas as more novel, more interesting, even if someone else saw the exact same idea without that little digital nudge.
It's like that AI was whispering, hey, this person, they're onto something, you got to listen. So it's not just helping us find good ideas, it's making us better at recognizing them, even if they come from someone we might totally overlooked before.
And that's what makes this so groundbreaking. We're not just talking about a cool tech demo here. This has the potential to change how we connect, how we collaborate, how we create, like everything.
This has been such a fascinating deep dive. It really gets you thinking about all the ways AI could be used, not just for like making art or writing music, but for these more subtle things like helping us think better.
Exactly. Imagine a world where online platforms are designed not just to keep us scrolling and clicking like, but to actually help us do our most creative work.
Oh, I love that. What if instead of showing us what's trending or what our friends are sharing, our phones were using AI to connect us with the ideas and people that would really push us creatively?
Right. Imagine our social media feeds, our online classes, even our work projects, all powered by AI that understood how to connect people based on the meaning of their ideas and the structure of the whole network.
We could see a total creative explosion in education, art, science, problem solving, everything. Instead of being stuck in our own little bubbles, we'd constantly be bumping into new perspectives, new ways of thinking, new possibilities.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It totally is. This deep dive has officially convinced me I need to decentralize my creative life. No more echo chambers for me. Got to let the AI help me find my people.
I'm right there with you. This research is a great reminder that AI isn't about replacing us. It's about creating the conditions for human ingenuity to thrive in ways we haven't even imagined yet.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into AI-boosted brainstorming. We've covered a lot of ground today, from those semantic fingerprints to the art of creative matchmaking.
I've really enjoyed our conversation.
We'd love to hear what you think. What were your biggest takeaways? What really got your creative gears turning? Head over to our website or find us on social media and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, keep those creative sparks flying.